put in work for you, I would. Just name the time, a day, and the place. I'll be there right to you. I don't wanna say too much, 'cause the anticipation is sometimes my favorite, yeah. Honestly, I can't wait, no. 'Cause tonight when I see you, you'll understand from my point of view. We gon' go up, I go down.
Welcome back to another episode of the Randy Wilson Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Wilson. This is episode 56, and we are at the end of a year. And we have a phenomenal guest today. I can't say enough in regard to getting into that intro. But before I do, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the Randy Wilson Podcast, been actively engaged with the Randy Wilson Podcast, been a supporter. If you've shared, if you've liked or anything, I just want to take my hat off to you and say thank you. And let's go into another year. This will be the third year coming up, and we're really excited about the direction that we're going. All right. This podcast will be brought to you on all podcast channels. Preferably, I strongly encourage people to go to YouTube because there's a visual being produced, and you get a chance to meet the gentleman today, Mr. Jerel Crockett. Okay, this is episode 56. Drop down right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Make sure while you're doing that, get your notebook out, write the name Jarrell Crockett down. Okay, because this is a gentleman that I want you to get familiar with on the YouTube and everything. He just did some phenomenal things. Just most recently, he performed at Altria, and I know it was an internet-based virtual show. Not sure what the cause is, but I'm sure he got a big check because it's Altria. Okay, and it's the holidays, and people are jovial right now, and they're in a given mood. But just Jerel Crockett. I was personally introduced to Mr. Crockett by my mentor, the big brother, Floyd Miller, who you all just recently seen his wife in episode 55, Holly Bird Miller. But Floyd had been telling me about Jarel for a while. And it's great, Jarel, just to get a chance to really talk to you. I don't get a chance to talk to many male vocalists. And you are a voice, like an amazing voice, a voice. Unlike, I brought you all some of the best guests across Virginia and beyond. I know, not to be, arrogant, but I don't think I brought you a voice like this, though. Let me see. Have I? No, I don't. There's no one comparable who's been on my show, because I don't speak a lot to male vocalists, R&B artists, but you are in I don't know what it's yours. Whatever it is, you own it because, brother, you can sing,
Man,
and I joke about it all the time. You talking to, the most valuable vocalist at Star Mountain High School class of 19.
Uh-oh.
But no, man, when you come across a brother that can sing like that, amazing voice, extremely amazing talent. You could have seen him on CBS. I think it was CBS. I saw him on the news. And they even referenced it as, Virginia's next big voice, next big talent. I'm going to start it off the gate if we're going to dive in. Like when I see the relationships that you've established, to me, I think that will help our audience immediately recognize that you are a voice, you're a brand. I know that you did I know if I'm correct, you did the national anthem for, I think, a Wizards game.
Actually, COVID-19
messed that up. But you got a relationship. Yeah. You got a relationship with them. So let's just start right there. You got a relationship with them. The hell with cancer, COVID is just, but the fact is you have a relationship. Let's just start. Like I'm looking at this. And so look, Motown Gospel, MGM Grand, Bravo, Real Housewives of the Potomac. I want to get an understanding of the artist, but the brand, because it looks like you're doing some work, brother. Because people are looking at you, and there's a big there's a big light on your potential right now. I mean, I've seen you on top 20. It was on your website.
Yeah.
There was big names in there, you know, and you was right in there. And so, I mean, I think we immediately need to make sure that our audience knows and understands who Jarrell Crockett is. I'm from North Carolina, by the way. Okay, so let's let everybody know, because everybody in Richmond, Virginia, people they get familiar. But let's let the world know who's Jerel Crockett.
I'm actually from a small town in Hanover County called Montpelier.
Montpelier.
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard of Montpelier.
super small country town. Went to high school in Ashland, Patrick Henry High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I graduated, I kind of played a lot of R&B and jazz and a lot of bands around the town. And I kind of was trying to find, like, what is my lane? Like, am I going to be R&B jazz? Am I going to be, you know, gospel? And it kind of took me a while to kind of figure out what my lane was. And I gravitated towards the production side of things. So I was kind of working on just being a great piano player, a great producer. And the first track that I think that I placed with a major artist was for Kenny Lattimore. And that song was a Christmas record. It came out like 4 years ago for his Christmas album.
Okay, now back up right there. How I seen that. I seen Kenny's face. I didn't know. I was thinking, like, I didn't even put it together. Okay, so how does a young brother out of Hanover County placed your first production with Kenny Lattimore? How does this happen?
Well, a friend of mine that I've collaborated with for years, he's from DC, his name Nathan Jolly. We were kind of like working on just demos and ideas for years and years. And we had like a vault of just songs that we were just gonna try to shop at one point. And he had a relationship with Kenny, and he had an idea for a Christmas song. And that song was kind of based off of a sample of Shalimar's For the Lover in You. And I did a lot of the instrumentation, the piano, the strings, the horns, and all that kind of stuff. And I put it together in like a nice loop. And then we built a song around that loop. And then we sent it to Kenny Lattimore's writers, and the song came together. Wow. And then I got a phone call that the song was placed and they're going to use it for his next single. And that was his like really big single after like a 3 or 4 year hiatus. Like, he didn't have any music out at the time, and he came back with that song, and it kind of put him back on the map.
Wow. So have you, this was like, how many years ago was this?
This was 2016.
Okay. So over the past 4 years, have you nurtured that relationship? I mean, where do you and Kenny stand right now currently? Or is it, you know, music industry stuff, and it's like, that's one thing, you know?
That was actually, I actually have relationships, you know, in his circle right now that, you know, we haven't officially met yet, but he is aware of, you know, what I've contributed to the song. I have a credit on the song. I have my name credit. So he's aware of, you know, what I've contributed to the song. But I think moving forward, you know, I think he's definitely one of those mentors that I want to collaborate with in the future.
Yeah. Respectfully, do you know how old Kenny Lattimore is now?
He might be 50 right now.
Okay. Haven't heard a lot of him lately, but it's like he's one of those people where he's a name. Doesn't even matter if you've heard a song in the past 3 to 5 years. The songs that he's put out and songs that people are familiar with are going to last for a lifetime. So major plus. So, okay.
They're amazing.
I mean, I want to make sure that people get into meat of you. Okay. That's major. That's major. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the journey kind of started. It started with, okay, I'm a talented singer, musician, but I wasn't out there yet. And as an individual, it was more behind the scenes.
At what age are you considering this time?
Right now, at this particular time, I think I'm like 28, 29 at this point.
Okay.
And
okay,
I submitted.
Okay, so like you're a mature artist. Now, I'm talking about before that though. Like I saw your first talent show at 14.
Okay. Yes.
So like let's just say between the young years and the mid 20s.
Okay.
What are you doing at that time as an artist to develop yourself and put yourself out there? Are you?
Well, I haven't really gone into detail on this particular subject, but
hey, Randy Wilson podcast is gonna. I am interested. I'm intrigued. And so, I'm glad that you haven't, because I think for people who, when we put clips out there and we put music out there and people get familiar with you, hey, at some point the real fans are gonna want to know, like, what's this guy's story? As far as I thought he was 28 years old now.
Well, coming out of high school, going into college, we can go there.
Yeah.
I was still more singer, piano, production. I was still kind of in that lane, but I didn't have any solo aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my friends, he introduced me to a producer in town that was working on shopping an artist to a major label. And this producer, he felt that I could sing, I could potentially be one of his next artists. And the artist that he shopped was Chris Brown. So Chris Brown actually had a relationship with this camp, and they wanted me to be the next artist up. And it was looking good, but then they kind of had a lot of other artists that they brought in, like maybe 5 or 6 other artists, and it was kind of getting kind of crowded. And I felt like they lost kind of like their priority a little bit.
Yeah.
And nobody really took off from that camp. So I was kind of turned away from the industry for a while. I was kind of like, should I be following people, like, being managed, being, manipulated, controlled, or should I kind of just focus on doing my own thing and just kind of see where my heart is first?
Yeah. And
I think it took like maybe 6-7 years for me to just figure out where I was going with it.
But you kept your voice active?
Yeah. I still kept active, singing just bands and, jazz groups, things like that. But one day an opportunity came for an opening act position for Tank, the R&B singer. So I submitted a video on Instagram, and he actually saw the video, and he decided to pick me for his opening act at the Howard Theater. And this was 2017. So at that time, I had no original music. I was mainly like, a cover artist, doing other records for other people. And that opportunity kind of opened the door for, if I can open up for Tank, then I can possibly do my own thing.
I'm boss. I mean, basically, look, that really probably got the momentum in you going.
Yeah. So immediately, I started building relationships with other songwriters and producers that could help me put together my own project. And the first song that I actually produced and wrote, with this team was No Pressure. And that was the song that kind of opened the door for, my solo.
Wow. So, I mean,
it was a one shot kind of thing, and it just,
that's
boom.
Amazing. That's amazing. It's meant to be. Obviously, it's meant to be. And since then, you've been able to develop relationships with Can you talk about Motown Gospel?
Yes, that's the actual company that distributed the song for Kenny Lattimore. So that's the label.
Okay. For
Kenny Lattimore.
Impressive. So I mean, you have credits on that, correct?
Yes. So the
residual income from that?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of complicated on that one. But at that particular point in my career, I said, okay, well, would I rather get paid, or do I want credit to kind of open the door for future?
Yeah.
And I felt like credit was more important than getting paid.
For sure. And I think that it appears to me that without you having like a significant amount of
leverage
work.
Yeah, and leverage, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting people are recognizing you as a And I think, to me, obviously you work with Makeup by Holly. Shout out to her. I mean, you carry yourself well.
Thank you.
And I think, to me, when I was having my conversation with her and some of the conversations we've had, to see how you would be a client of hers. And but it's because everything she speaks on is, to me, appears to be what you are, as far as a polished professional artist. I mean, all the way around.
I strive to do that.
Where'd that shirt come from? First off, I'm saying something like, you got that from Prince, I feel like, right now.
I just shop online and I just click and just, Yeah,
Got you, man. That shirt's hard though. I feel like you got different prints, man.
I just go online and man, just do my shopping thing online.
Got you. So, because it's a Googleable point, then was it? I don't know who was it with the news. I don't know if it was. It wasn't. I don't want to say the wrong person. The wrong person.
The anchor.
Yeah.
Rob Desir.
Yeah. So tell me about that. Like when that was done, what was
going on?
What was going on at that time? Like
this was actually.
I recognize that people recognize you, obviously. Okay. And so what I'm interested to understand with like that moment and that time, but in where we are right now, I just feel like you're a move or a situation or a moment away, an experience away from the next big opportunity. That to me, being recognized on television is something. When you're getting paid to perform, and you're getting paid to perform for one of the, if there's anybody to get to perform in Richmond area, the Altria is a nice, it's a nice place to perform in.
Actually, there was a show that was scheduled in June, I think June or July of
National
at the Altria Theater.
Okay.
And I was on the bill for that. And it was to open up for Jeffrey Osborne.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Jeffrey Osborne. It was like a tribute show. And I was supposed to be one of the performers for the opening act. It was July. So I think they're going to be rescheduling it for next year.
Okay.
Altria Theater next year.
Let us know how you moving and shaking, bro. I mean, we see you on TV, we see you on the news. You know what I'm saying? You have a very well polished presentation. Let us know how you're moving and navigating, because I mean, we're ready to see what's the next big thing.
I mean, really, this pandemic has kind of changed a lot of the, the performance aspect of the industry. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of ways that I still want to reach out to the fans virtually, online, social media. I'm still looking forward to releasing music, videos, and just reaching out to the fans any way I can.
What's the goal for you? Is it to be continue as a successful independent artist, or do you want to get signed with a label? Like, what's ideal for you? And I mean,
well, I want to be as nationally, internationally successful as I can possibly be. And I'm going to try to do as much as I can independently, until a situation that, is beneficial, comes along, so.
You seem like you have really good media trained skills. Someone has been working with you, sir. I want to dive in. I want to dive in.
Thank you, man. I have had labels, interested. I've had labels, that were interested, but things are happening in their own time.
Yeah. I mean, are you familiar with the app Clubhouse?
I just downloaded it this morning, actually, for the first time.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. It's crazy.
I just downloaded it, man.
Are you in yet?
Yeah. Official Jarel.
I'm going to have to find you. It's addicting. Okay. And I've been a part of a lot of different conversations in the groups. But I'm interested to kind of talk a little bit more about that. If you made $10, if you sold 100,000 albums, for $10, to me that has more value than if you sold 1 million albums for 10 cents. We were talking about the album versus the digital sale, and what would an artist prefer as you're moving and navigating as an independent artist right now. Right? I don't get the impression that a label is a big deal as long as you're able to expand yourself, because you have obviously the internet right now. You can do that. So like, what will be success for you? I mean, you have been singing your whole life. You're obviously extremely talented. I mean, no one, the world is yours. At whatever point in time, it's all about how you approach it. What is going to be success for you?
Success would be, at some point, I would love the recognition, of course. I mean, who wouldn't want to be recognized, publicly, the Grammys, Billboard Awards. Of course, I have those aspirations. The first goal that I actually feel like I accomplished was really getting my song on the radio. And I felt like, if I can get my song on the radio, I can feel like, hey, I've done something. Yeah. Of course, there are more steps after that. Okay, I want national radio. Okay, I want my song playing on all the playlists on Spotify. You know, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think as long as you're making a step, every couple months you're taking it to a different level. Every couple months, every couple years, you're progressing. I feel like that's success. As long as you're growing and you're expanding,
yeah,
that's growth to me, and that's success to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're successful, and but you're obviously going to continue to grow. I think as I'm coming from the perspective as a fan, you know, as fans, sometimes our favorite artists, the artists that, and a lot of times the artists who have the most talent, you know, don't always receive the most recognition.
That's true.
And it can be frustrating even as a fan, but you know, we get a chance because we want to see those who we enjoy reach the height of what success is, and a lot of times that is being on the Grammy stage. Even though I think that's changing. Even though I think it's changing a little bit.
A little bit. But I think it's coming down to not talent, but who can get attention the best. Who can gain your attention.
You're right.
Who can keep your attention.
Yeah.
You know? And are you interesting enough? You know, and I think you put that with the music, you know, I think that's what creates the hook.
Yeah, you do. And I've been a part of a lot of Clubhouse conversations on that lately. Yeah. You have to
command the attention.
Yeah, and you have to really create your character. You can be yourself, but you have to figure out how to sell yourself.
How to sell it.
Yeah, outside of the music can be amazing, but you have to be intriguing to people. What avenues do you use in regard to maximizing your presence? What, you know, whether it's social media or maybe you have some other resources and tools to use.
I've been doing a lot of Instagram. I do a lot of advertising, try to get my word out to different states, different countries. Of course, Facebook ads and things like that. I mean, advertising is,
when you say advertising, is there a lot of social media ads?
Social media ads, Google ads, YouTube ads.
Talk to me a little bit about that. I'm interested in that. So I'm interested in what you found to be successful as it pertains to using ads, because personally, I haven't really been able to. I think Facebook ads, in my experience, Facebook ads have been more beneficial than Instagram ads, sponsored ads for me. But at the end of the day, I don't know what the engagement has really been like outside of the attention that I've gained.
Well, I think from what I've been seeing lately, if you want to really expand on any of these platforms, you need a bigger platform to kind of boost you. Yeah. And I see that a lot. I see like, well, you can buy your followers. I mean, as far as advertising, you can pay for 10,000 people to see your music or hear your music. And then out of those 10,000, you might get 10% of them to actually click on it and actually watch it. Yeah. Or you can get a cosign from somebody that thinks you're dope. They mention you, they put you on their platform. Yeah. And you grow up that way. I think that's really the way a lot of these people are doing it right now.
It was a matter of getting a machine behind you. Like
these big TV shows like The Voice or X Factor and those type of shows. I mean, those are really good for like blowing up artists. But I don't really know if they really have a lasting effect for the careers like that. But
yeah, I mean, we can look back through, well, I don't know.
Lately it's kind of,
I mean, we've seen this for what, 10, 15 years now? These shows?
Yeah.
It's been a week. America's
Got Talent is one. American Idol.
American Idol was the one that got it going crazy, right?
Yeah. And they've all kind of, fizzled into.
Yeah, but if you get 150,000 followers, then through that you have a higher percentage and chance to captivate a person who may be willing to invest in you if they don't want anything more than social media presence for their platform. So I feel like that's what those The Voice and American Idol and all that stuff, in my opinion, you got the winner, and the winner may get a recording deal and some studio time, and they're going to get a shot. They're going to get a wide open shot, an opportunity, right? If you fall in the top, well, first off, just going on the show can help you. But if you fall in the top 20, 30, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships.
You can build.
Contacts, features. You know, I think that's what that show probably adds the most value for an artist. Outside of winning. Have you been on one of those shows? I think you have you?
I've been vetted for that. I was on the short list for season 20 for The Voice, the upcoming season.
20.
Yeah.
20. So did you?
I was in the final stages, but they ended up not going in that direction. So, and I think they're pushing the show back. I think they had like a delay because of, you know, the pandemic. So I'm not really sure what the show's doing right now.
I mean, was that frustrating for you, just being in the business of it all? And did you really want that opportunity and that experience?
Well, they actually discovered me on Instagram. They actually reached out to me and found me on Instagram. And they asked me to audition.
Stun a little bit. Bam. Yeah. I need a sound effect for that, but that's good. Go ahead.
I wasn't looking for that. You know, I've tried out for those kind of shows like years ago, and I don't really think they're for me. I'm not really a competitor. Like, I don't like competing against a singer. I don't like battling the singer. I think it's an artistic thing. Like, either you like my vibe or you like a different vibe. And I don't think music should be put against, you know, each other.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think one of the casting directors saw me on Instagram, and they reached out. They wanted me to audition, and I made it to like the 4th round or something like that. And they were like, we'll call you back and let you know. And about maybe 2 months later, they actually emailed me back and said, hey, we're going to go in a different direction. So I said, it's okay. You know, but they've had winners on the show that didn't get in multiple times. And then one year, oh, we want this kind of person to win this year. Yeah. And they decide, we want a guy with blonde hair and blue eyes to win, or we want a black guy to win this year. I think it's more marketing too. It's a marketing thing too.
I got you. It's
not necessarily, you know, who's the best singer. It's what kind of winner do we want this year?
You got you.
We had a guy last year. Let's get a girl this year.
Yeah. I could definitely see you though. So I got an opinion, but I'm curious. Like, your voice is like, you know, you got it. You get an A off the gate right there. Okay.
Thank you.
And looking at your video, my question is, I'm trying to figure like you out as an artist a little bit here. So like, I get this behind a piano vocalist. I'm not comparing you to John Legend. He's just a man that sits behind a piano.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think you could sing some of his songs, obviously, but still. But then I see you show another side. I see you dancing. So I'm asking you this question, like, are you like, where are you at with the dancing thing? Because that's another way that you show yourself. Like, I don't see you as an artist that needs to dance.
Yeah.
Don't even, and that's interesting because you're behind the piano and something. So like, just describe, like, let me get more familiar with you. Like, are you a dancer? Or are you just a vocalist? Or do you do what you feel like the situation requires?
I agree with I do whatever the situation requires. If I have a dance record, I'm not sitting behind the piano. I'm not gonna be like this on a dance record. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get a choreographer. We're gonna work out some steps. We're gonna make it work like that. I actually was a dancer / singer for Kings Dominion. In the early 2000s. It was my first job. I was like 16 years old. And the job was, you're gonna sing and dance pop music.
Wow.
You're gonna learn choreography. And I was in there with college students. I was 16 and everybody else was like 20, 21. And I had to kind of learn the ropes of, showbiz at a young age.
Wow. Yeah.
So it took me a while to kind of get, choreography down, but I learned.
You was entertaining some people in one of the videos I was watching. I was like, oh, it gave me it's like I had this impression of you as an artist, and then I saw you dancing, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't realize, I didn't know that you was that diverse, quite frankly, and I don't mean that in any harmful way. I think sometimes, like, as a listener, once you develop an opinion on a person or you see what you get, then that's and then you see another, so that surprised me. I was not prepared for that.
I actually didn't start piano until I was a teenager, actually till I was like 15. I didn't even learn piano until 15. So
you play by ear, don't you?
Yeah, by ear.
I noticed that on something on the news as well.
Yeah, I just hear a song and I can just find it.
That's like the most. That's to me. That's the most amazing gift to have.
It is. I had training in a choir.
I wish you had a piano in front of you right now.
Oh man, I would set it up. So I basically discovered I had an ear for just music in general when I was like 13 years old, and I was in the Richmond Boys Choir, and we learned like classical, gospel, just all types of music. And one day the director was like, "Can you pull out this song a cappella and give me the starting note for this song?" And I just hummed the note. And every song he named, I had the exact note in my head, like the exact pitch. And he was like, "Jarrell, this is not a normal skill that average people can do." So he told me I had something called perfect pitch. It's like when my ears can kind of hear the frequencies, like the exact mathematical frequency that a pitch is high or low. And I use that skill to kind of figure out how to find everything on the piano. And within a year, I could play songs like on the radio. Like I could play any song on the radio, like Alicia Keys or whoever.
Yeah.
I could just learn it just by playing it on, listening. So
did your parents know that they had that you had this gift at a young age? Are they musical?
No, I mean, my dad, he had a piano that he bought just for fun. And I actually gravitated towards the piano just out of curiosity. And he had a piano CD, like classical CD. He used to play it around the house. And you know me, I'm listening to hip hop, R&B. And I'm like, man, get that classical stuff out of here, man. I don't want to hear that stuff. But one day I was just like, let me see if I can learn it. And next thing you know, I'm playing like the whole CD. Like it's like 13 songs on the CD. Like I learned every last one of the songs on the CD and just picked it all out by ear.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. To me, that's such an amazing gift and talent. And did you was you active in the church as far as growing up?
Yes, basically my whole life. I was raised in the Baptist church, so just gospel music, Kirk Franklin, and learned all that stuff. And when I turned around 15, 16, like I was playing behind the choir. Like I was doing, I was filling in for my director. Like I was filling in on the piano as a kid, so.
And singing as well.
Definitely have a lot of gospel roots.
And singing as well? Did they want to let the kids, would they let the kids sing? Like Bertha, somebody who was up there running the choir was like, "Oh, that boy, he ain't but 15. Did they let you sing?
Oh yeah. They definitely called me to do a lot of solos all the time. I was singing like Donnie McClurkin solos and Smokey Norfolk solos. I was doing all that stuff.
Did you deal with any jealousy in the church with your voice when it came to having the opportunity to sing? Let's not act like it don't occur. Did you? This young man is 15 years old. He's playing the piano. He's stepping in for the director. Were they willing to allow you to be Michael Jackson?
I didn't get much hate in church at all. Like I got a lot of support. In high school, it was kind of haters in high school a little bit. Like at high school, then the girls, they liked it. They liked when I was singing, and the fellows, they would get kind of jealous. They would hate a little bit.
Yeah. Did you sing in college?
See, I gave college a try at VCU. I went to VCU for 2 years, vocal performance, and it just didn't connect with me. And I felt like I'm already doing shows, in the band. I'm playing in church. I'm already making money, and I felt like, well, I didn't really feel like a vocal degree was really going to be beneficial. So I kind of just bowed out and just focused on just building my career independently as a musician. And I feel like that was the best decision I could have done. So,
and it sounds like you was able to make a mature decision for yourself at that time.
Yeah. I mean, because I have a lot of friends that actually went through with the degree and they're not even doing music. So it's like, they kind of, they spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of debt, and they didn't even go through with it. So I felt like, well, as soon as I figure out what I want to do, I'm going to just go 100% into it.
Before we get to the music and the upcoming year and the things that's coming with you, I've recently a brother put something in my head, and I don't know if he realized what he did. Okay. when I talk lately, I've been kind of trying to broaden myself a little bit, just because I
Yeah.
focus a lot on artistry because I love artists. This is a cultural and society podcast where we focus a lot on artists and entrepreneurs, and um, but I'm not. He don't realize that he said something to me, and I hadn't thought about it. When I'm talking to artists, a lot of times I talk about a lot of things, and I keep things broad. With you, this interview is a little different than a lot of my interviews because I was interested in asking the questions that I've been asking. These may not be questions that other people want me to ask, but I'm interested, so I'm kind of fanning out a little bit. I'm trying to get familiar better, and you know, that's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully, other people benefit through my experience. But I didn't do this one for y'all as much as me. I'm sorry. I apologize. But a gentleman recently made me realize that when I talk to artists, I have a lot of conversation that's artist related. And if I'm talking to someone who's, let's say they're not an artist, let's just say they're, I don't know. Let's say hypothetically, I recently just had a conversation with the mayor. Okay.
Yeah.
So the conversation obviously was about other things. And it really, his question, what he said to me kind of really fueled me to make sure that I'm putting emphasis when I'm talking to artists, particularly about things that's outside of their art.
Realm. Yeah.
It's important because a lot of artists, I feel like, have important things to say about important things. And a lot of times people don't give them the platform to express themselves about those things. So like right now, we're getting ready to go into a new year in a COVID unfriendly society. We're in a pandemic still, as far as I'm concerned. There's just a lot of real things going on right now. If there was, when you're given an opportunity and the voice to speak on the things that matter to you in regard to where our world is going, or just exactly where it is right now, what are the things that are important to you that you like to speak on? What sits hard with Jerel Crockett? Because you are branding yourself, and every opportunity that you get a chance to speak, I think people also want to hear about what you feel about things as well, not just the music.
Well, I think right now, we all need leadership. We need competent leadership. We need somebody that can actually tell it like it is, but also is sensitive to people's feelings and people's backgrounds and people's, viewpoints. And I think when our nation and when our world is going through something like this, I feel like we need a voice of somebody that is measured and calm, but still alert and assertive. And I feel like this is going to be a long ride, going through this pandemic. But I feel like we do need a voice. And I feel like the process of, voting, I think that's very important. And I think starting next year, January 20th, I feel like we're going to have some good heads in the game that are going to kind of help us get on the right track.
Yeah.
And I think as far as where it connects with the music industry, I feel like all the industries, entertainment, everything, I think everything is kind of revolving around having competent leadership and just having somebody that's measured that can kind of help lead us into the, to the right path. And that's kind of where I am. Like, I feel like you have to kind of govern your household as well too. You have to kind of tell your children or your family, hey, don't go out there, don't be going partying, just lay low. We have to kind of do what we have to do to get through it. So 2021 looks a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think that that's going to kind of tell the whole tale of next year is leadership.
Yeah, we got a lot of folks right now, because they have a curfew at 11 o'clock, that feel like because they have a time that's set for them, that they have to maximize that time every night, so they can't, curfew is for you to be home by 11, but that doesn't mean that you have to be out every night until 11. And so exactly. I watched an interview today with the mayor and Mark Cheatham, and that was kind of mentioned. It was, just because there's a time that, look, stay home. And just because there's a vaccine, continue to wear your mask.
Exactly.
Like, continue to wash your hands. Continue to practice the same things that you did throughout this process.
Use common sense.
Well, it's not so common anymore, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
It's rough. But I appreciate you sharing those things. And I think that that's a good segue for talking to the music, and then that's kind of rolling into the fourth quarter here of things we do. But music is so important, and it has been so important through this year that we've had. When you look back at the past year, has there been any music that has spoke to you that you feel like has been a good reflection of the time? Any new music? What are you listening to?
I mean, I definitely love the female artists out. I love her. I love Jhené Aiko, Jasmine Sullivan. She's dope. I love all of those artists.
Why do you like Jhené Aiko? Why?
I just think her style is unique. I think as I've grown as a music listener, I don't listen for who can sing the best or who just got the best vocal chops. It's more about the vibe and can you tell a story through your music? And her album is very cultured. I think she has some type of Oriental background, and her whole album, it had like just a whole vibe to it. And it was a very I think it was a Grammy nominated album. I think it's up for a Grammy.
That's the only one I guess that's the only one I have an opinion about that you said so far. And I want to hear more from you. They ain't about me, but the hit that like Jhené, I mean, that's where I feel like that's where I probably I don't agree with everything that's in the time. Mm-hmm. Like everything's a vibe now. And I'm talking about she is a vibe.
And I've had people tell me, Jarrell, it ain't all about it's just you can just do something that just got emotion. Just give me that emotion. And that's all I need. Just give me the feeling.
Well, I need a little bit more. I ain't gonna lie. Like, listen, she's cute. She's cute, and I think she's able to get away with that vibe thing. But you put her in a lineup or an opening, with the other people that you said. You said Jazz Sullivan. You put her in there, and it's like she's cute though.
yeah, for sure.
She a vibe, but she gets that's what I'm saying. You get a Grammy nominated project from a Jhené Aiko. Answer this question honestly. Can she sing though?
Yeah, she can sing.
You think so?
But we have to
sing though. I'm talking about sing.
Like my whole philosophy towards singing is totally different. Like 2020 is different singing than 1980. Yeah. Anita Baker. That's singing.
Yeah.
Nobody's really singing and making commercial records anymore.
Yeah, I'm not changing though. I got you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not changing though. I'm not changing. That's one thing I'm not changing on. Like, if I talk to you about my favorite artists, I'm okay with not having any new ones until someone step up. Like the new artists of today, I like Daniel Caesar.
He's dope, but he's not a singer. I mean, he can sing.
But
he can sing though.
He can sing though. And I like.
But his music is a vibe though. He's a vibe too though.
I just started liking Jacquees a little bit. You like him?
Oh God, here we go.
You like Jacquees?
But he is a vibe. He is a vibe.
He can sing. That brother can.
But he's not a singer to me. I don't think he's a singer. But he's a vibe.
He ain't a voice.
No, he's not a voice.
So
he can sing though.
So it's a difference between a singer and a voice. He's not a voice.
No, he's not a voice.
Look, I don't look. This is good. This is good for the people. Is Trey Songz a singer or a voice to you?
He's both.
I feel like him and Jacquees are kind of similar a little bit.
Well, content-wise, they're the same. Content-wise, they're both singing about the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Exactly, same stuff. Trey has a little bit more depth as far as vocal.
Yeah.
But Jacquees, I mean, he's 2020 singing.
You're right.
We got to think about it differently. Like 1980, Anita Baker, you got, Tony Braxton coming out in the 90s. I mean, those are some singers.
Brother, you a voice. You know that, right?
Damn it, thank you, man.
You know that, right? I'm just saying, I'm not changing. Look, my favorite rappers have not changed since. Jay-Z, and then like I mean, you know, after that I like Fabulous, and I like J. Cole. I don't like Kendrick. I'm not a big fan of him. But what I'm saying is like
I like J. Cole a little bit better. I like J. Cole's flow.
I'm just not changing. I either look, I'm a fan, I like you, or I don't. And if that means we gotta go another 15, 20 years without having like a voice, I don't feel like we should minimize our standards. Like I get it for sales purposes, for marketing, for media, for the time, for the vibe. There's always gonna be the right now. But if you can, you know, if you can do what you can do, it don't matter. It don't matter what time or era we're in. It don't matter what vibe. It can
work. It can work.
Yeah, it's like putting just, you know, good pork and salt. You know what I'm saying? In a pot. It sticks. It ain't no. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Singing is singing. Don't matter what year it come out. Singing is singing.
But who do you like? Anyone else you like? Any male vocalists right now just standing out to you? Because you can sing them brothers down. So go ahead. I mean, who's second?
I don't really connect with singers. Like I like Mario. I think Mario's always been dope. I mean, he's a dope singer. He doesn't get all the recognition that he used to, you know, back when his peak, you know, with the Let Me Love You and all that. But I think he's really dope. I like Lucky Day's music. Lucky Day's got some good music. Also,
I don't know who that is. Lucky Day.
What's the song? Roll Some More. Roll some more. He's got a dope vibe. I like his music. But I like the old school cast though. I love the Maxwells and the D'Angelos.
Yeah, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, that ain't
all day.
And Music Soul Child is one of my favorites too.
Oh yeah, he's probably got one of the best catalogs.
That's my point. We haven't.
They sleep on him. They sleep on music.
Anthony Hamilton, you like him?
Oh, I love him.
That's what I'm saying. Until we get that back.
Yeah. I like Kim too. Kim is dope too.
You like Kim?
Kim is dope.
Kim.
He's a vibe.
Yeah.
He's a vibe though.
So has there been any music particularly that you feel like have stood out? You know, Trey Songz put a song out, you know, this past year that kind of, I felt like went with the mood.
Well, I heard the album. One of his songwriters on that project, Braylon, he wrote like 8-9 songs on Trey Songz' album.
Wow.
He's actually written 2 songs for my next project, actually.
Oh, good segue. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So after like No Pressure and We Go Up, I feel like those 2 records are hitting really well, you know, with, you know, the adult R&B audience. And I feel like my next couple of records, I kind of want to expand into a wider audience. And so I got with Braylon. He had a viral hit that he wrote. It's a song called Don't Touch My Truck. It's like a Lil Nas X country rap kind of record. Mm-hmm. And he actually released it as a solo artist. And it was like #1 on Spotify for like, it was a huge record. So I reached out to him, you know, I told him what I had going on, and he sent me 2 records, and I got them in the vault right now. So
okay,
I'm looking forward to releasing them next year. So
that's what's up, man. Do you record anywhere particularly, or do you move around? Is there anyone that you like, you know, working on your music with particularly?
Yes. So, you know, the relationship with Kenny Lattimore, mm-hmm. I kind of connected with one of his producers for one of his releases called Push. He had a song called Push that came out a couple years ago. And that producer, his name is Lee Major.
Oh, yeah.
He's from Petersburg. And we actually worked on a couple productions together. And as soon as I finished up doing the Tank thing, I told Lee, I said, hey, man, I think, you know, I want to try to be a solo artist. And he was like, yeah, man, I think you would win, man. You would win. And I was like, if you think so. So he sent me a demo track, and that demo track was No Pressure. And we put it together, man. And Lee Major, he's been like my go-to producer for like, you know, my last couple singles. And Madison is one of the lyricists for this project.
I think I just actually reposted. Let me see. I know who you're talking about. Lee Major, for those of you who don't know, Lee Major is like major. Like,
oh, yeah.
He's got, you know, production credits with Jay-Z. Rick Ross, if I'm correct. I mean, like
Lil Wayne,
yeah,
everybody.
that's what makes you special, man. You're a very humble young man, and you moving around and navigating, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a matter of time for you.
Well, I discovered that you can try to do it all yourself, and it might take you a while, or you can get a team, and you can have a way better product, and it's going to be fast and efficient, and you got somebody in your corner that can make sure that the quality is there. And whenever I reach out to Lee, I know I'm always going to get a hit. So
hey, I had a guest on my show one time that spoke about Lee, and the way they described him, they was like, "Look, this brother is, he's been paid. You know what I'm saying? He's been paid, okay? And you never would know it." And they was like, "I ain't seen him in years. For all I know, they said he's still with his parents, just hanging out, like in the room making beats." And I was like, it's just amazing to me. He seems like a humble guy. He ain't like an overly visible social media person. I don't know him at all personally, but I know people.
He's pretty low key. He's low key. He's low key.
Super low key.
Yeah.
And super like genius.
Oh yeah, one of the nicest dudes you ever meet, man, for sure.
Man. Yeah, man. I just feel like we got to do our part to give those people their flowers, man. Because like I know who Lee Major is, and a lot of people know or should know, but there's a lot of people who don't realize like the gym that's down in Petersburg. Like he is.
Two of his records, Rick Ross played on the Versus battle against 2 Chainz. He played 2 Lee Major tracks. And I'm like, bro, they played both of your tracks. He was like, yeah. And I'm just like, dude, like, you're the man. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. So what can we anticipate from Jerel Crockett in 2021?
Swag, a lot of swag. I definitely had the no pressure, the grown is sexy vibe, and, the we go up, grown is sexy, but these next couple of records, man, it's a different flavor. We turning the temperature up. This is for the gram. This is for the TikTok. This is for the millennials. It's all of that. But it's still R&B though. It's still got that soul. It's still got the feel. It's still got the emotion.
Yeah, man. We're
excited, in a different way.
Anybody that you're looking to collaborate with in 2021 and making some music?
Oh man, I would love to collaborate with Mike Angel. He's dope.
Yeah, so I mean, you're doing some work in Petersburg. We still in Petersburg.
But he's the guy. He's the guy. Like I'm trying to build though. He's the guy right here. Yeah, but eventually, of course, I'd love to work with other artists as well.
What's Mike doing right now? What's he doing right now? Is he on the road with Trey? That's been.
I don't think he's on the road with Trey right now. I think he wrote a song on the last album for Trey. I think he wrote one of the records on his last project. Yeah, I'd
love to see you two guys on the project for sure. Man, it's been phenomenal having you on the show, man. I mean, we're ready for you. We're ready to see this swag come in 2021. I know there's a lot of people who today that either are happy to get a chance to see you or already familiar with you. Let them know where they can find you right now if people are trying to learn more about Jerel Crockett.
You can find me on Instagram, official Jarrell, and my website, JarrellCrockettMusic.com, and also YouTube, Jerel Crockett.
Appreciate you, Jarrell, man. Before we go, I have to just ask you some completely random questions.
Yeah.
Just to help the audience and the guests, people listening, get a little bit more familiar with the random impulsive thoughts. I mean, you're media trained, okay? So we already know that you're not going to just pop off with anything random, but my goal is to try to get like the impulsive, immediate response.
Yeah.
All right. If a vaccine comes out, a vaccine is out, are you going to get your shot? You can get your vaccine.
I'm going to wait for the 2.5.66 update. Okay. I'm not going to get the first batch.
I'm going to be like in the 0.7, the one right behind you, okay?
0.7. Yes. Yeah, man.
All right. Growing up, obviously you was an artist. Did you play any sports or do any other things?
I experimented with some baseball and some basketball, karate. I wasn't good at any of it. But once I got on the piano and the vocals, it was over. It was over.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you have a sports team right now that you rock
I'm
with?
I'm still Splash Brothers, man. I'm still off of the Splash Brothers. Team Steph and Clay.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, I'm a Laker fan over here and a Hornet fan. Honestly,
For real.
yeah. Growing
It's
up,
easy to be a Lakers fan right now, though. It's easy to be a Lakers fan.
nah, I'm a real one though. I mean, I can give you.
I mean, were you a fan when Kobe retired? Were you a fan after he retired? Were you still a fan?
My fandom goes back to the '80s. I mean, I want to
Oh,
show.
you go back to Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I'm a real fan. I
Green.
can talk about Norm Nixon and Larry Smith and Eldon Campbell and Sedell Three and every point guard to Smush Parker. I mean, all them guard. You know, the Nick Van Assel. Like I followed every guard. Every guard was always my favorite player for the Lakers. So yeah, I've been a real fan for a long time, even though we had some rough years.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but we're not used to it, and that's what made it hard for me. We're not used to it. But I'm a Hornet fan too. I'm from North Carolina, so like.
Explain. Well, you must have been a Dell Curry fan then. You must go back to the 80s.
Yeah, I'm a Hornet fan because I remember when we did not have a team. So
because when Michael Jordan took it over, I mean, they didn't do anything.
Horrible, god awful. Yeah, but I'm loyal. You're
loyal.
Stay with them. Yeah.
You're not a bandwagon. You're not a bandwagon kind of guy.
I mean, I was there when we had Robert Reed.
Reed.
You know, like it was Rex Chapman, Muggsy Bogues, Kelly Tripucka, like before Larry Johnson. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember when North Carolina got an NBA basketball team, that was like, you know, that was a big deal for us. So unfortunately that's why, but fortunately we got LaMelo Ball now, so we'll see what happens this year.
We'll see what happens.
We're definitely gonna sell tickets whenever the arena opens.
And hopefully I'll do a national anthem in one of these games, man. So
for sure. I'm sure you will, man. So as a child, Jarrell, as a younger man, you was like between 12 and 16. Who was your celebrity crush?
Brandy.
Was it because did you have a voice? Did you have that raspy voice?
I loved everything Brandy. I just loved Brandy.
Dang, I was Monica, man. I
was just Brandy. I don't know why.
You guys.
What's that?
I didn't understand you guys because I thought Monica was the one.
I mean, Monica's attractive, you know, but I just connected with Brandy's vibe, her music. I still think it's amazing. Like, yeah, Brandy. I had an Alicia Keys phase too. Alicia Keys was dope. 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Keys all day.
Yeah. During COVID, have you? I mean, you look like you stay in good shape. You know, do you exercise? Are you on some type of vegan, vegetarian, millennial? You know, like what's your lifestyle like as it pertains to your nutrition?
Man, last couple of weeks kind of fell off a little bit because I did a little bit of moving. I moved into a new place, so I kind of been out of my rhythm a little bit. But I've been trying to get into the bodybuilding thing.
Okay.
So I'm trying to stay consistent. You know, 5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Okay.
Heavy lifting kind of stuff.
Are you eating what you want?
No, I try to stay away from sugars and breads and all that kind of high carb stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to keep it lean meats and vegetables. Just keep it clean.
Gotcha. Okay, brother. All right. Let me see here. I don't know, man. I think I've got all the. I gotta ask you one more though. I gotta ask you one more random question. Well, let's just do this real quick. Okay. I'm gonna ask you 5 of these, and then we're gonna wrap it up. All right?
Okay.
If it was so, who won the versus battle between Monica and Brandy?
Brandy, because I love Brandy. I mean,
you're being biased. You're being biased, not based off
love. Monica does have a couple but you can't beat I Want to Be Down. Sitting up in my room, full moon. I mean, you just can't.
I think.
Have you ever? I mean, you can't beat it, man. I mean,
what Versus does, I think Versus exposes artists who don't have full, like when their music doesn't speak to the totality of their career.
Yeah.
Like when Nelly went up against Ludacris.
It was terrible.
Because Nelly was
Luda just had them bangers, man.
Yeah, and Nelly had some, you know, he had some songs for a time, but like that time was so
they didn't
transcend, they didn't go over a period of time. They didn't age well.
And I feel like they were talking about Usher versus Chris.
It's not a battle.
And I think Chris, he's the master of right now music. And I feel like Beyonce is too. Yeah. I think Beyonce's music is very like right now.
Yeah.
But some of her stuff is like, I don't want to hear that right now. I don't want to hear that. Like, you know, but it's just a different way of looking at it. I think timeless music versus the trendy right now.
I'm, again, obviously you can say I'm more about the timeless music. I'd love to see, you know, I'd love to see a good R&B. I would love to see Music Soul Child with somebody. I don't know exactly who though. I'm not sure who. I'd like to
say Anthony Hamilton and music should go against each other. But I think music would still.
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like it'd be competitive. I like Anthony, but I don't.
Maybe Maxwell against music.
I don't know if anybody can get music for real. I think Maxwell. I'd rather see him.
D'Angelo versus Maxwell.
Yeah,
but D'Angelo only has 2 albums. You know, like he only has 3 albums.
What do you think about Jamie Foxx?
I think Jamie Foxx is the most talented person in Hollywood. Like just person, like sing, acting, comedian, like
he can do it all.
Like that's musician. Like I think he's the most talented, like overall, just person.
We can see you doing some acting. I bet acting's in your future, isn't it?
I got a little acting credit on Real Housewives, so.
Yes, brother, you ain't stunt, bro. Stunt on them.
I got a little acting credit. It might open the door for something in the future. So
that's cool.
I got to find out. I got to give me an agent. Get me on some stuff.
My brother's girlfriend is really big on that show, so I'm gonna make sure I share her that. I was talking to her about you before the interview. She loves that show.
Oh, which you say your friend?
My brother, I told her that you had some involvement with the Real Housewives of Potomac, correct?
Yeah, Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I could see you in acting now. All right, I'm gonna drop 3 more on you.
Cool.
We could keep it in the R&B. Okay, we'll keep it in the R&B.
Cool.
Maya or Cassie?
Musically?
Yes. Well, no. We talking about because musically it's not gonna be competitive because Cassie don't have enough music.
She don't have any music other than
So
Maya was one of my crushes growing up too.
Yeah,
Maya was one of my crushes growing up.
I think I use them because to me they have similar. They could kind of do the
really light voices. Yeah. Maya, she's like almost 42. I mean, she looks good for her age right now. Like she's vegan too. So
yeah. Was anybody better than Janet Jackson in her time?
I wasn't really a huge Janet Jackson fan. I
wasn't either.
I wasn't a huge. I mean, I definitely love, her standout. That's the way love goes.
Yeah.
But as far as back in the 80s, I mean, was it the 80s when she was doing her thing, or was it 90s?
Both.
80s.
I would say 90s for sure, but I think she came on the scene in the 80s.
I mean, Janet Jackson, Paula Abdul, Janet Jackson. Yeah. I mean, singing, dancing, R&B singers, she was really the only one out there at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Janet Jackson or Madonna.
They're different though, right? Are they?
They're just vibes from back in the day, right? That's what I'm saying. When you're not focusing on the sound or the quality of the voice, you're just talking about
I think they're about even, really, vocally speaking. They're probably about even.
Yeah.
I think they're about the same artist, but one is just urban, one is pop.
Yeah.
They're pretty much evenly matched. They got hit records. They both got, timeless.
That's kind of what I see with J-Lo. I
think J-Lo is ridiculous. She's dope.
But do you put her in the same category as like a Janet Jackson or a Madonna?
I do. They're not really selling the vocal. They're selling just the overall, just singing, the dancing, the look. Yeah. The whole package.
Yeah.
I think J-Lo is probably the best overall artist since Janet Jackson. Singing, dancing.
None over Beyonce though. You wouldn't say, would you?
Right. Beyonce is not the dancer that J-Lo is, but Beyonce has a deeper musical.
My wife hates Beyonce's dancing. Do you think Beyonce can dance? I mean, I think
she can dance.
I think J-Lo's a better dancer.
Oh yeah, I mean, J-Lo was
that as a versus. I would like to see that as a versus, not just a dance. I don't know. I don't think people give
dancing wise. J-Lo was a professional dancer. She was a fly girl on Living Color.
I don't think, yeah, but I just don't think people give Beyonce enough credit for her dancing. And I'm not saying she's a great
Her
dancer.
Coachella performance was out of this world.
Yeah, I just got done watching an interview with Rosie. She from White Men Can't Jump. I forget. You know what I'm talking about? She was the choreographer for In Living Color when Janet Jackson was.
Oh wow.
When J-Lo was.
J-Lo.
Yeah, Rosie. You remember the girl in White Men Can't Jump?
I don't remember too much. I know Wesley Snipes was on it.
Yeah, it was
Woody Harrelson. And...
Yeah, it was. She dated Billy Ho. It was Woody. It was his girlfriend.
Okay.
She's Dominican, I believe. Rosie something. I forget her name.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie. I think it's Rosie Perez. That might be it.
I didn't know she was a choreographer.
She was a choreographer for In Living Color, and she also was this is a Randy Wilson podcast moment, and she also was the choreographer for Bobby Brown's maybe My Prerogative, something like that. All I do is
she was an actress. I thought Rosie Perez was an actress.
Yeah, but she got on she originally was a Soul Train dancer.
Are you serious?
Hey man, listen.
I had no idea, man.
Listen, all I do is watch podcasts. So
wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's crazy. These dancers are just actors in disguise.
One of the things I was talking to my wife about the other day, though, that I feel like we don't see, and I know we got to wrap up here. One of the things that we don't see in acting, I feel like with Black actors, it's like most of the time Black actors come from music. They come from entertainment. They come from some other form of entertainment. Mm-hmm. You don't get a chance often to see them come through Juilliard. You don't get a chance to, come up, and but then a lot of times we get perceived for having really bad films. We don't get the credit and recognition of films, or they're just poorly produced. But we don't have that infrastructure that hasn't always seemed to be in place at a high level. I mean, if you say who's your favorite Black actors, male.
So you're saying the actors that are at the top of the game, they don't have that training? Is that?
Well, the ones that are at the top probably do, right? I mean, I guess right now, if you look at Michael B. Jordan and the guy that was in Power, Ghost that died, whatever, I forget his real name. That guy.
Amari Hodder.
You got Denzel's son. What's his name?
Can't think of his name.
I mean, there's some people, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't a lot.
Yeah.
Ain't a lot. I mean, when you think about, most films, shows, movies, the actor, they came from something. I mean, you can name a few, but the point is that you can name them.
Yeah, there's like 5 top actors: Kevin Hart, Denzel.
Yeah, and he's a comedian.
He's a comedian that turned into an actor.
Yes, I just feel like that's
Jamie Foxx was not an actor first, was he? He was probably a comedian first.
He's probably a comedian and musician, and a
vocal. The Rock was a wrestler first, turned into an actor.
Yeah.
I mean, really, all the actors that are at the top, they blew up in something else and became an actor.
Yeah, and that goes back to what we were talking about before. You may, your voice may just be the vehicle, the marketing machine to what is selling you as a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can obviously sing, you can do so many things. And I say that to anyone who's listening. I think that's the thing that people need to be mindful of. You may love singing, or you may love acting, or you may love a lot of things, but you have to figure out what it is within yourself that's going to be the vehicle. And if you can have a machine behind you,
mm-hmm.
That can push you, particularly financially, support you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the talent and skill, then you're going to make it. And you're going to make it, brother.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This has been episode 56. Jerel Crockett. Go follow him now on Instagram is it the official Jarrell? What's the Instagram name?
Instagram, official Jarrell. Jarrell.
Hey, find him on Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, official Jarrell, YouTube.
Yeah, that's what it is, Jarrell. It's been a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you.
We're gonna release this before the new year for sure. Okay.
Perfect.
Or maybe right there. Maybe give some people something to look for. So I look forward to talking to you more and continue to build a relationship.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Peace.